friends. Today we are going to discuss about the wonderful and amazing world of bird watching. Now, for this particular topic, I have made a logo which you can see consists of amazing thoughts, happiness, health, wealth. You can see the flamingos there on the top left. You can see a colorful butterfly and a beautiful landscape below. So let's begin with our presentation, which I named as Bird Watching Canadian Experience. And I'm very fond of using the words nature untouched by COVID-19. Now, the components of natural environment are land, water, air, trees and plants, animals, birds, butterflies, bees, and insects. While all these are important, our main focus is going to be on birds. Well, in the past, it was generally believed that the modern birds evolved from dinosaurs, but new evidence has found favor about the theory that birds evolved separately on a parallel path to dinosaurs. Now, let's discuss some basics. The total bird species in the world are about 9,000 to 10,000. Similarly, while we as humans are about 8 billions on planet Earth, the total estimated bird population is 50 billions, more or less very close to 7 times the human numbers. So they obviously assume greater importance. The most familiar typical birds are the passerines, which is the sparrows category, very small birds, which includes songbirds, sparrows, and finches. Obviously, the first question comes in is, all right, if I have to watch these birds, how do I go about it? Well, there's no really rocket science involved in it. I think it is more of a passion. Well, you can observe by naked eye as we go out for a walk or travel. Well, if the birds are far away, you can use devices like binoculars, telescopes, binoculars, and scopes of various kinds. You could take pictures with camera, probably any standard camera, or your mobile camera actually, which is already always there with you. You could also record the sounds and songs of the birds. Another easy way I find of bird watching is installing a bird feeder in the backyard. As the birds come there, you can keep your binoculars ready and watch them and compare them with your standard textbooks. And also, if you go out in the field, especially in well-known bird watching places all over the world, make your observations. Well, that is one way, that is the way actually to do the bird watching. Now, here you can see that there are 3 different people using 3 different kind of devices there. And let's, I think, touch a few important things when you are doing bird watching. I think in my view, the most important thing is the shape and size of the bird. You must pay a lot of importance. That is whether it is the size of a sparrow or the size of a crow or size of a duck or size of a heron. Next important thing I'll rate is the coloration, the colors in the bird's profile, the shape and size of the beak, the shape and type of legs and feet in particular, because the birds which are called water birds will have webbed feet. So you could even distinguish from that. Also the way the bird is behaving. Also watch the habitat in which it's living, whether it's on the tree or on the ground, in a bush, in the water, flying in the air, and its song or call actually. I mean, if you focus on all these 6, 7 points, you've done a good part of bird watching actually. So here I've shown you some devices here. This is the binocular, and then there's a monocular. There are various companies on the ground available in the market. Ideally, for a binocular, I will say magnification of 10 by 42 is pretty good for a bird watcher. Binocular, monoculars, you keep it because it's very easy to carry along actually. Here you can see there is a bird feeder installed there. And then another nice place, as I told you, is to go to forests and ponds where the ecosystem is in full force. And you will find all kind of birds there in the bushes as well in the water and as well in the air. Okay, so let's, I think, sort of acquaint ourselves with a few of the North America birds, especially Canadian birds. You'll see here the Canadian goose there, which is one of the most widespread in Canada, and you can find them in all fields, parks, playgrounds. I have even seen them laying eggs in open flat ground in the car parking area. The duties are that the female sits on the eggs, while the gander, the male, arranges food and provides security. You also must have seen these birds on large open ground or flying in the air in a V formation, for which they are very popular. The next bird, which is very common here, is called red-winged blackbird. This bird, migrates in winter and comes back in summer. These days, it is in large numbers around here, and they make a beautiful sight to watch when they're flying with their red patches, which can be seen from quite a distance. These birds are qualities, they're very dominating, and they scare away even bigger birds. Even when they come to our backyard bird feeder, they will dominate there, and all birds run away actually. Another beauty about these birds is that they are polygamous, and I have seen them nesting in large numbers around these ponds. And they can also mimic sounds of various birds. Next, we talk about European starling. Then we'll talk about great blue heron actually. So let's take up starling first. Now this species was introduced in North America in 19th century, sometimes in 1890. When there are people who are very fond of Shakespeare's novels, and this bird is mentioned in that. Their aim was that this bird should also be in North America, so they introduced 100 birds in 1890 in Central Park in New York, and it is estimated that they are in beyond even 200 million in numbers, spread over right up north from Alaska to Mexico. And they move in large numbers, in large groups, and also come to the bird feeder actually. And especially in the evening, you will see them flying in groups, sometimes doing murmurations, where they move in the air and do all kind of air movements actually. Well, next bird which is very fascinating, is the great blue heron. You can see in this picture here, this is sitting very near the edge of the pond, very cleverly there, and looking for the fish actually. These birds are very in large numbers this season. I have seen them, very common here again. They also migrate in winter actually. Uh, there's a pond here called the Mata Pond, and I find a particular bird there, a large bird that maybe as tall as 4 to 5 feet and a wingspan of about 5 to 6 feet. And I just named it, just I mean, for fun's sake, like Swanky. It's very easy for me to remember. And the tactics is that it goes into the pond and then stands quietly there, and as it sees the movement, picks it up with there is a nice long yellow colored beak. They start coming back sometime in April actually, and as I was sort of on the lookout for this particular bird, I saw one near a water channel in a nearby school here actually, and it has got almost a 360-degree eye movement, and therefore it could spot me, though photographing from a distance of almost 70-80 feet with a small mobile phone. And also probably it had finished its while fishing, and so it flies away in a very nice flight pattern, particularly a large big bird actually. And you'll find these birds, this particular bird, the great blue heron, always hunts in a single form. I mean, they'll be just alone there actually. Next, we'll take up these three birds, which are again very common here. The morning dove. You can see here, there is a morning dove. Then northern red cardinal, and another nice bird called American robin. Now, morning dove I find very graceful, silver light color with black spots on top. The very gentle birds sing very nicely, and not very aggressive at all. In fact, when they come to the bird feeder, they'll wait for their turn, and even probably they will not climb the feeder, they'll go to the ground and then pick up seeds from there. These birds, I have not seen them migrating. Even in extreme winter, I have seen them here. Especially they'll come out when there is some sunshine. Northern red cardinal, because of its bright red color and nice crest on top with red black color near the beak, makes a beautiful sight to watch. Again, I've seen them alone, especially these males moving around the ponds. They'll go to tall trees and then sing there. Very eye-catching bird, I'll say. And again, I find this bird stays back in winter here. American robin is a very common bird in summer. Remember that in summer I am talking about. And they come in large numbers and like to scurry on the ground. Or they will climb to the top of a pole or a tree and sing a beautiful song from there. Very, very, identifiable because of their chestnut color breast here and a particular posture which you can see there. They're very fond of earthworms and berries, and as I said, they forage mostly on the grounds, but a very lovely song. In fact, last season we had the mother and a small baby visiting us. The next few birds I thought I'll discuss with you are the American goldfinch, you can see a pair here, and a loon. Loon also figures on the Canadian dollar actually. Now, American goldfinch also is a migratory bird and arrives in summer, generally early June or late May. When these plants, which it likes, are called thistle, yarrow, and milkweed. They are in bloom. It comes around that time, uses their fibers to make its nests. Beautiful bird. The golden black combination is a beauty to watch. Understand it's a strict vegetarian bird and surely one of my favorites, and visits our Backyard feeder, very common. Common loon, which we saw here, again a very nice black and white textured bird. Is a particularly is a water bird, stays most of the time in the water and will come on the ground only when it has to dry itself or it is busy making a nest. And as I said, it has a pride place on our dollar called Loony, after him, loon to loony. Next few birds you can see here is this is a ring-billed gull. You can see this in flight. Again, it has also got a good wingspan of almost, I'll say, 3 feet from tip to tip. And the red-tailed hawk. Now, gull is as common as the goose actually, and sometimes coexists with them on the grounds. In the pod, usually it just keeps flying around looking for food actually. In fact, the two birds will watch each other, and if one of them gets food, the other one will also come shooting down to grab the food. Now, these birds have a very fine, like any other water bird, they can stand on cold surfaces because they have a system in their body called counter current heat exchange system. So as the cold blood comes from the feet, travels through the veins towards the arteries, towards the heart, the hot blood from the heart as going down also warms up this upcoming blood, and therefore you have a constant stream of warm blood going from the heart to the feet, and therefore the feet can withstand extreme ice cold actually. Red-tailed hawk, very common, a large bird, predator bird, uses thermal currents to fly high in the sky and chooses vantage places like poles with eyes down, looking for a mouse or a rabbit or maybe sometimes a small bird. Again, large wingspan of up to 5 feet. Here I will tell you that predators live for a long time. There are birds have been recorded living up to 30 years. You can see one of them sitting on top of a pole here, and you can see here the grey and white gulls occupying a baseball ground in a school. Next are some national birds. You can see here the grey jay, the national bird of Canada. You have a peacock, which is national bird of India, and the bald eagle, which is national bird of USA. Now, grey jay, national bird, so prevalent all over in Canada. It's very cute looking grey and white bird. Mostly live in forests and eat berries or even small animals actually. It survives winter by hoarding food in trees in summer. Another bird, similar bird, is called a blue jay, which has been visiting us at our feeder also. Again, a very nice, elegant bird. Bald eagle, which you saw here, with a large wingspan, has been a national emblem of USA since 1782, more than 200 years. White feathered head is the identifying point from a distance, with chocolate brown body and a wingspan of almost 7 feet, and can fly long distances. Again, it has a long life of 38 years or so. It is understood that this bird sometimes like to steal fish from an osprey bird, which is also a similar family, and which is a very good bird in fishing actually. Indian peacock, of course, is one of the most brightly colored bird, and its dance with open feathers is really captivating, and you'll find those pictures all over in magazines. Lengthwise, it can be so long as up to 6 feet to the end of its feathers.